I slept on Citizen Sleeper when it originally released in 2022, and it wasn't until a couple of years after its launch that I finally played it. But though I came to it a little late, I instantly fell in love with it, combining a fascinating and deeply imaginative sci-fi universe, incredible writing and storytelling, and compelling choice-driven gameplay that revolved around a unique dice roll system. Indie studio Jump Over the Ages RPG instantly had its hooks in me. I may have initially slept on the first game, but I decided I wasn't going to make the same mistake with its sequel. I'm glad I did, because Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is fantastic. It takes everything that was good about its predecessor and smartly builds on it, delivering what feels like an even more engaging and fleshed out experience. From the stellar writing and world building to the dangerously addictive time management, choice-driven dice roll gameplay loop, the sequel retains all of the first game's biggest strengths. At the same time, with smart tweaks, improvements, and additions, it also expands on everything from the progression mechanics to player choice systems and more. The end result is a stellar sci-fi RPG that manages to capture lightning in a bottle yet again. Citizen Sleeper 2 once again puts players in the shoes of a sleeper, robots who have had human minds and consciousness uploaded into them, and once again, you have fled from the clutches of the corporation that owns and enslaves you. This time, however, you're joined by a crew, have a ship of your own, and have different threats bearing down on you. Chased by your corporate masters as well as by criminal factions looking to control you and having to deal with a failing and glitching body, Citizen Sleeper 2 tasks you with once again building a life for yourself and finding an escape. This time, however, the focus is just as much on gathering a crew, improving your ship, and taking on different jobs scattered throughout the Starward Belt. On one hand, not being tied to a single location like the original game does feel like a bit of a loss. I loved exploring and slowly but surely growing familiar with the Eye and its ever-expanding environments in Citizen Sleeper, and I'll admit I do feel the lack of a similar single location that spans the entire game. Then again, what Citizen Sleeper 2 gains in exchange comes with its own benefits. Your ship, for instance, is still very much a single location that you call home. Slowly improving and expanding its capabilities and getting better acquainted with your crewmates remains quite satisfying throughout the game. Having constant access to a ship means you're also moving around a lot in Citizen Sleeper 2. Scattered throughout the Starward Belt are a number of different contracts and quests that you take to different asteroids, stations, ruins, and more. The greater location variety lends the game a greater sense of scale and also shakes up the familiar core loop in interesting ways. At its core, Citizen Sleeper 2 still tasks you with managing your dice and energy as you make use of limited actions every in-game day to advance quests, earn money, explore, and just plain survive, but each contract breaks up that cycle with its own mini-cycles. Success in contracts is determined by a variety of factors, from what your crew composition is and how smartly, or not, you use your dice, to how well stocked your ship is with supplies and more. Being locked into a contract once you've accepted it does admittedly feel a little limiting, which sort of goes against everything that Citizen Sleeper's design is about, but on the whole, they succeed in injecting much greater quest variety into the game. Of course, a lot of the credit here has to go to the writing. After the first game, it should be no surprise that this is the area where Citizen Sleeper 2 probably shines the brightest. Every character you meet in this diverse, wonderfully realized cast makes a strong mark. Every scene and dialogue conversation is immaculately written. Every dialogue choice or decision you're asked to make feels deliberate. The game weaves a captivating tale that's hard to tear yourself away from, and also uses its more expensive setting to flesh out and reveal more of the universe's lore and backstory. Narratively then, Citizen Sleeper 2 is a triumph yet again. The moment-to-moment time and resource management mechanics that form the backbone of the experience also see some changes for the better. For instance, the first game's condition system had been replaced with a new stress system. In Citizen Sleeper 2, though, they're still managing your energy by making sure that you're eating regularly. Unlike the first game, you're no longer dependent on stabilizers, which means your body isn't in a constantly deteriorating condition. That said, taking stress damage on failed actions now impacts the health of individual dice, which, once fully depleted, renders that dice unusable until you find a way to repair it. The stress system definitely feels a little less strict than the condition system in terms of how it punishes failure and how much it restricts your actions, which works wonderfully with the greater sense of freedom that the rest of the game affords as well. Those restrictions, meanwhile, now take other forms. like glitches that your body accumulates over time, in turn glitching some of your dice to dramatically increase their failure rates. It's a smartly implemented system that manages to retain a sense of risk and reward, while ensuring that players don't ever feel too throttled. Citizen Sleeper 2 also introduces skill checks, allowing players to choose special actions during certain scenes that work the same as dice rolls and see the original story being impacted by your choices and branching in interesting ways. On the progression side of things, meanwhile, the game introduces a new push system, which grants special abilities to each class, granting each of them different tactical advantages, depending on how you use them, that is. Like its predecessor, Citizen Sleeper 2 keeps its progression systems lean and focused, but every upgrade that you make feels meaningful and genuinely impactful. Whether it's the day-to-day gameplay cycle, the progression mechanics and class differentiations, or even how quests function, the running theme in Citizen Sleeper 2 is one of smart, iterative improvements that take its predecessor's winning formula and hone it to near perfection. That one more day hook that characterized the first game so well is still very much present and accounted for in the sequel, to the point where it may be an even stronger and more addictive force than it was the first time around. Combined with its stellar writing, engrossing world building, and expert storytelling, Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector sticks the landing in every way that counts. For fans of the first game, for fans of RPGs, for fans of choice-driven gameplay, and for fans of the sci-fi genre, Jump Over the Ages Sophomore Outing is an easy game to recommend. Absolutely do not sleep on Citizen Sleeper 2. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.